that area. Everybody's seeing our common goals. This is the thing we want to see within our department. I told them a story about Cape Canaveral. JFK's at Cape Canaveral back in the 60s. They're giving him a tour. It's just before dark. He walks around a corner, and the custodian's walking down the hallway. He's sweeping the hallway. And JFK says, "Sir, what are you doing?" Now, you can imagine the things he could have said. Just mopping the damn floor like every other night, or same thing, could have said anything. He says, just trying to put a man on the moon, sir. Just trying to put a man on the moon. Now, here's a custodian. He saw the big picture. He's doing his job because it's important. He knew his role. And he knows the goal of Cape Canaveral. He wants to put a man on the moon. Keeping that floor clean is important. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, one of the things that I think is really important is, well, a couple of things. Let's talk about, I saw Coach today, he's showing his players clips of former practice, yesterday's practice, their last practice. And everything was a good that guys did. Anytime that you can give them an attaboy, good job, way to go, pays huge dividends. It's player of the game, it's defense, offense, defensive player of the game, it's scout team player of the game. Big play, big hit. Going through camp, doing the same thing. As many rewards as you can get, as many times you can stroke them, and it doesn't take anything to reward them, to do that, and the benefits are huge. I do some corporate speeches, and I did one at Northwest Mutual. These are the guys in the top 1%. So this is a big company. And for the top 1%, they got a little ribbon. It cost about 2 cents for that ribbon with a straight pin. And they're so damn proud of that pin. They're fighting their ass off to get that pin, that little ribbon. I spoke at one company, and I'm sitting with the president, and they give the safety award. And there's a truck driver from Arkansas. He wins the safety award. They bring him up and they give him a plaque. He starts crying. No one had ever given him a plaque before. I said, "Where in the hell do you think that plaque's going?" I said, "He'll take a bullet for you for a $5 plaque." It doesn't take much to say, "Good job, way to go. Here's a t-shirt, name up on the wall." I think when you compete, when you're a competitor, I always feel as though I want my guys to feel as though they have an advantage over the guy they're playing. I want them to feel like they're coached and they're prepared better than the guy that they're playing. And I would do that every week on Sunday. I'd come up with some type of theme for that week. If we're playing Ohio State, first thing I would say was, listen, this isn't starting today working on Ohio State. You have to understand, from the minute we took this job, everything we do in the weight room, in the conditioning, in season, out of season, everything we do is built to beat them. And then we go from there. But that's the start of it. I'll give you 2 examples, really good ones. In '93, the group that we inherited in 1990, I took the job. The kids that we recruited in 3 weeks, those kids had done everything we asked them to do. And in '93, they're in a position, if we win the last game of the year against Michigan State, we're going to go to the Rose Bowl. First time in 31 years. Now these guys, Wisconsin had only been to 5 bowl games in the history of the school. They won a Hall of Fame bowl in Birmingham. It's the only one that they had ever won. You can imagine the state's excited, so on and so forth. We had a week off before we played the game. Now, not only do we have to beat Michigan State, we're going to play them in Tokyo, Japan. So I do start doing some research, and I'm talking to our doctors and so on and so forth. And I find out we have people on our campus that work with the astronauts. And you can turn your body clock back 2 hours a day. It all has to do with light and dark. So I went out we set up a schedule. We're going to turn it back 2 hours a day. We bought sunglasses for everybody on the team. And the last 2 hours, first day, last 2 hours of the day, you wore sunglasses. You stay up 2 hours later, you sleep 2 hours later. Next day you wear it for 4 hours, then 6 hours. We did that for 5 days. Kicked everything back. Said, now, we go through this. Now, here's what's going to happen. We finished practice like at midnight on a Monday, I think. Got to drive to Chicago. You can't sleep until you get to Chicago. Get to Chicago. Michigan State gets there. We're going to get up the next morning. We're going to get on a plane with Michigan State. We're going to fly 12 hours to Tokyo. You can't sleep on that flight. We've turned the clock back. Your body clock's right on it. We're going to get there at midnight. When we get to the hotel in Tokyo, you'll be right on Tokyo time. You go to sleep next day, boom. You're right on Tokyo time. You don't miss a beat. And Michigan State doesn't know anything about this. So we get on a plane. Some of our guys are up in the second deck. Michigan State's in the second compartment. And about halfway over, our guys have books. I mean, they're staying up. They're following the plan. Hey, I see them about halfway over. I see them coming down the steps. They pulled back the curtain to see what the Michigan State guys are doing. They're laying down the aisle. They're laying across the seats. They're laying on the floor. Every one of them, they're passed out. They're snoring. My guys are giggling and laughing, running back up those steps. Hell, we won that game halfway over there. It was a no contest. But that's an example. They had an advantage. They knew they had an advantage. The last game I coached, my last full-time year in 05, we had a nice team. Not one of our better teams, but a nice team. And they announced the pairings. We're going to play Auburn. It was one of Tommy Tuberville's good team when he went undefeated, and then he had one loss this year. And the day they announced them, I have a function in Milwaukee. And I go up there, every person I ran into, it's, whew, that's too bad, Coach, we're sorry. And everybody's feeling sorry for me. You know, we're like 17-point underdogs. They feel sorry for us going to play in a game. I don't think much of it. Next morning we get up, my wife and I fly down to Orlando for the press conference. We get up, we have the press conference. My wife's always really honest with me, and she says, you really did a good job today. You did a great job in the press conference. They're probably going to kick your ass, but you did a hell of a job in the press conference. They really like you. Thinking, Jesus. Excuse me. My wife doesn't even think we're going to win. So I'm thinking all the way back home. Thinking, what am I going to do? So I get back, I run in the office, I tell the coaches, listen, call staff meeting before you meet them for scouting report. I want to talk to the kids. I run in, I tell the kids, listen, I've been studying and looking at this film. I just came back from the press conference. I went through every matchup we have. We really match up with this team well. We match up well. We played them 2 years ago in the bowl game. A couple bad calls. We're better this year than we were then. I don't know if they're as good. I hadn't watched 1 second of film. I said, we'll have a great game plan for you, but the matchup is phenomenal. And we kept with that theme. Normally when we go to a bowl game, I did this because we did it with Holtz. We're going to start the first day, we're going to put pads on, we're going to get them in the right frame of mind. We're going to start with a little goal line scrimmage. That's how we're going to start practice. So we scrimmage, boom, 2 plays I stopped and I said, hey, we're right where we need to be. So we go through the practice. As we go through, I kept cutting more and more off. They're practicing pretty well. You know, you get an extra day in there that you can fudge with. I call a meeting. First thing in the morning, instead of right after their team meetings, their individual meetings, call team meetings, say, listen, you know what? We're right where we need to be. No practice today. And I've never done that. I love to practice. No practice today. I'm going to give you the day off. Stay off your feet. You're right on schedule, right where we need to be. Here we go. We go back. Now, my thinking is, I don't want them to read for a month. It's 3 weeks to a month. They're 17-point underdogs. Everybody's telling them they're going to get their butts beat. Pretty soon you start believing that. They got to believe that they can win. Could we have won the game without doing that? I don't know. And I know one thing, they felt going into the game, they're going to win the game. And they won the game going away. It wasn't even a contest. So those are things that I believe in. Give them an advantage. Make them feel as though they have an advantage. Give your people confidence. I think something that you have to do, every coach, and all the great coaches have it, you have to have a feel for your team. When do you push them? When do you back off? When do you put your arm around them? Now, I know we have all those gizmos now, where you got stuff around their chest and you know how many strides they run, and you can keep track of that better than you did prior. But you have to know, sometimes you have to back off of them. You have to know the most important voice of the team is the voice in the locker room. That's the most important voice. How do you get the voice from the locker room? Great coaches, there's no book ever written that tells you when. You go to chapter 3. No, nobody does that. But there are ways, you can sense it, but also understand. Now, as a high school coach, I coached high school. You know where I went? I go to the custodian. They know everything. Find out what the kids are saying. What are my players saying? What about the trainer, the guy that's taping their ankles? What about the strength coach? They hear everything. The equipment manager at our place, he's invisible. He's in the locker room, handing up, but no one pays attention to him. All those guys, I go check with them all. What are the guys saying? And always, if you have good captains and people that you can talk to on your team, find out from them how they feel, what's going on, what's being said. Is there anything I need to get involved in? Is there anything you need to take care of? The voice in the locker room. I'm going to just tie all this together and just tell you a situation that happened a few years ago. Dave was there. Billy was there. So Coach Anderson, I'm on, this is the first year of the college football playoffs. I'm on the committee. And I'm trying to work everything possible. Our team wins the West Division. We're going to go play Ohio State in a championship game, Big Ten championship. And I'm trying to figure out every way to get there, and they tell me, you can't go. I'm really pissed. So I'm stuck in, sequestered in Dallas in a room. So we go play Ohio State. After about a quarter, I'm happy I wasn't there. The game, it doesn't go. Well, we lose the game 59-0. 59-0. I'm drained from that. I go to the Hall of Fame in New York after 2 days, and I'm dragging home. My phone rings. Just get to LaGuardia Airport. It's my deputy, athletic director. He says, Coach Anderson wants to talk to you. He said he wants to talk to you in person. I said, well, I don't know when I'm going to catch his flight. I'm delayed. Put him on the phone. Gary says, I'm resigning. I'm leaving. You're kidding. Where are you going? So he tells me so on and so forth. I said, just hold on. I think I'm going to get on a flight right now. I'll be there in 2 hours, 2.5 hours, call a team meeting. So I get there, I go straight, walk right in, catch him first, tell me what's going on. Let's get on the same page. But on the airplane, we back up. On the airplane, I'm sitting there. I don't have anything. So I grab a throw-up bag. I borrow a pen from the flight attendant. To do. Get your to-do list out. What am I going to do? What do I have to do? You know, my short list. I've already called 2 coaches I'm going to talk to. I've done that before the doors closed. Talk to players. What do you tell the players? List the things that you're going to tell the players. Media. What are you going to tell the media? Get all this, get everything lined up so when you get there. So, boom, I run in there, talk with Gary. We run in, he walks into the team. And Billy, you tell me if this is, guys, I love you. This is never easy. I'm taking another job. I'm leaving. I love you. I'll be in the office tomorrow cleaning out my office from 11 to 1:30. Come on, stop by if you'd like to. Turns around, walks out. That's my intro. Now I got to talk to him. You know, and I'm looking at the kids as this is going on. Now the seniors they said seniors, juniors, sophomore, freshmen in the back. Seniors are in front. They've been through this. They're pissed. You know, they're pissed off. They're pissed at the coach. They're not. They don't get that flustered, I don't think. Juniors, a little more. Sophomores, a little more than that. Freshmen, a couple of them were really hit hard. And I remember Dave Miranda out in the hallway talking with one that really was out of control. The kid was from Florida who was really a homeless kid, had a tough upbringing, and now somebody else abandons him. I can see what he was going through, and David had recruited him, and Dave was really good with him. So he just walks. I've got to talk to the team now. So first of all, you have to address, the thing I told him is this: don't be afraid of change. You're going to have change the rest of your life. Through your job, family, you're going to have to deal with change and live with change. And if you embrace it, you'll get stronger with change. You're going to have to trust me. I will hire you a good coach, and you'll have a great bowl experience. Now, let's go through that thing. You lost the game 59-0. Sometimes that happens. We're going to throw that out. I want the team that played earlier in the year, the team that got us to that, you got to get that out of their minds. And so we finished the meeting, and it goes over. The main idea was they needed a strong leader to stand up in front of them and tell them everything's okay. And then you get it put in that position. You're the head coach or whatever position. You got to stand up there like you got it under control. Follow me. The meeting's over. Every kid in that room came up and gave me a hug, and I see the seniors getting together over there. Mike Caputo was one of them who was here with you guys last year. They come up, we want you to coach the team. I said, you know what, I did that a couple years ago, guys. I don't know if I want to do that again. Come on, coach, we want you to coach the team. I said, listen, let me think about it. So I started thinking I'm driving home. You know, why am I in this business? We're in the business for kids. We're in the business because we like working with kids, developing kids. People influenced us. But I have a little problem because I got a grandson on the team. Bill coached him. He almost didn't come because he didn't want people to think he was being treated differently because his grandfather's the old coach and now the athletic director. So I called him. I said, Joe, seniors want me to coach the team. What do you think? He said, Grandpa, I think it'd be great. Besides that, we need a little swagger on the sideline. I said, I can do that. I don't know if I can coach worth a shit, but I can give you a little swagger on the sideline. So anyhow, I went back and told the kids the next day, and I said, but listen, this is it. Seniors are all in my office first thing in the morning. This is what we're going to do. Now I've got to do something to show we're going to do something different to win this game, something different than we did in 59-0. So I said, but I'm going to take it and I'm going to insert myself. I did not insert myself that Rose Bowl 2 years prior. I'm going to insert myself. We're going to change how we lift. I don't like how we're lifting. We only have a 3.5 week, but I don't know whether you can get stronger in 3.5 weeks, but I can tell them that they're going to get stronger. And we're going to change how that program, and we're going to get stronger, and how we practice is going to be different. We're going back to the way I practice. We're going to have an inside drill every day, and we're going to toughen up, and we're going to do those things, and we'll have a great game plan for you. Just follow our lead, and we'll be where we need to be. And we played a very good Auburn team, and I like to say we kicked their ass, but we beat them in overtime. But it was a great win. To see those kids fight, battle through 4 quarters, and really rally in the 4th quarter to win the game. And I believe a lot of it has to do with the idea that somebody's telling you you're going to win. Because if they go in there and all they're thinking about, geez, we got our ass beat in that last conference game, you've got to give them that confidence back. So, guys, those are some of the things that I built my career on, some of the things that I believe in. And I'd be glad to answer a question or two if any of you have anything. And one last thing, I think it's always important. I get asked so many times, how do I move up? What do I do in coaching? And I really get upset nowadays. I think young coaches, if I can give you one piece of advice, do the job that you have as well as you can do it. And focus on that job. Don't worry about your next job. You do it well enough, somebody will recognize you, and you'll get that next job. Don't worry about, cashing out. A lot of guys, the money is a lot different now. Worry about the kids that you're coaching. Worry about doing a great job where you are, and good things will happen to you. Got any questions for me? Then we'll wrap it up. No questions? No answers? Thank you. Appreciate your attention.